things went from the worst to kind of even worse.
So much has happened in the world in the last 5 years, and here in Sri Lanka in particular, what's it been like?
It was, I guess, particularly tough for us because the airport closed for a year. So we couldn't get in or out. If there was an emergency at home with parents or whatever, we knew we couldn't go. And so what happened is that actually at the start of COVID, everyone kind of panicked and went home. So we went from having 30 staff to having 14 overnight. All of the nurses left, all of the vets left, so I was kind of on my own. Yeah, it was really, really hard. We didn't have nurses to do anaesthesia, so I'm operating at the same time instructing someone of how to turn the gas up and down and trying to, it was really, really hard, really hard.
I mean, that must have really pushed you to the edge.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to accept it happened. Because, yeah, sorry, we just, you know, the whole point is that we try and come at everything with positivity. And that's what I want to do always. But the last 3 or 4 years have really challenged my resolve on that. Like, it's been really hard to stay bubbly and stay positive when it's just been very hard personally. And for the team have just, you know, dug deep and done double, triple the amount of work than they were ever expected to do, and stepped into roles that were just, you know, they should never have been monitoring anaesthetics. And then we lose a patient and that stays with you for life. I'm trained to deal with that, but they're not, and I was putting them in that position. So it's a lot to kind of, yeah. It is really hard, but everyone had it hard, so it's, yeah, it's all good. But then what happened after that is we thought we were home and dry, and then obviously the economic crisis happened in Sri Lanka and political instability, and things went from what I thought was the worst to kind of even worse.
Some people might not be aware of what happened here last year.
Yeah, no, it was hard to keep up to speed with it. The country basically ran out of foreign currency, so ran out of dollars, which meant we couldn't purchase basic items like food items, fuel. Down here we were having 16 hours of power cuts every day.
Could you use generators?
So, yeah, we could use generators, however, we couldn't get fuel for the generators.
So without fuel, the knock-on effect must have been tremendous.
We were struggling to get dog food, we were struggling to get medicines, you know, human medicines were running short. We couldn't get rabies vaccines, so if you were bitten by a dog with rabies, there was no treatment on the whole island. We couldn't get off the island because flights weren't coming in because they couldn't refuel. There was just so many implications. People were waiting in fuel queues for 5 days. People were dying in fuel queues. And I've definitely been challenged on every single level that I could possibly imagine. But the overriding purpose for me remains the same now as it did 8 years ago. Like, these dogs need veterinary help, and that's what I'm here for.
At the heart of all of this are the dogs. It's all about the dogs. For Janey, this is everything.